took my glasses off for this video since the reflection of the light was shining in my lens. The downside to that is that I cannot read my notes. So, this will be interesting. Hey, hi, what's up, YouTube? So, today I'm going to be doing a little story time. I figured I would talk about my under 6-ish years of overthinking, and how I finally decided to take the leap of faith and make my YouTube channel. This is 6-7 years in the making, which partially is kind of embarrassing, but at the same time I'm trying to show myself some grace and some compassion and be like, well, better late than never. Here I am. A lot of people might wonder, why make this already? You don't even know if this is successful, if people are caring, if anyone's gonna watch. And honestly, I mean, that's a level of success, sure, but it's already such a big deal that I'm doing this. To me personally, this is a success that that this is even uploaded. So I'm celebrating my small successes, and hopefully one day I can celebrate those larger successes as well. Hopefully I can reach someone, maybe one day, who stumbles across this, who's overthinking doing something that they really want to do, that they are really curious about. And hopefully this can at least help them a little bit on their journey to where they're not sitting somewhere 6 years in or 7 years in the future and deciding, oh, this isn't that bad at all, you know? Hopefully that can help somebody else out. So that's what this is really all about. That's all. For the first part of my story, we're gonna have to go back to the end of 2018. I was working my first legit grown-up job, as I felt it was. And I mean, it was. I mean, it was a corporate job, so I felt like it was a pretty big deal. It was fine. It was working in accounting. But it wasn't the right fit for me. The people were fantastic. Really, what made a lot of it difficult was the mental health. The usual breakup. It's not you, it's me type thing. I wasn't a good fit at that point in my life, really. I wanted to stick in it for the money, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. But while I was working there, I had a lot of time since I was mostly typing, I could listen to, podcasts, whatever. I did my little YouTube thing. I would have my little videos up with my screen dimmed down, watching videos, and I spent more time on YouTube then than I had previously. And I started catching the little wanting to create my own content bug, probably mixed in with me feeling not as satisfied as I could feel with my career. I saw people making a career doing this, and I thought, maybe this fits my personality a little bit more than sitting in a cubicle, which is fine. I loved my little cubicle. It was so cute, but cute doesn't equal happy, and I wanted to be happy. I'll be straight up, I wasn't as serious about it as I could have been. I think I went into it with very, like I said, lofty, idealistic ideas about what it would be like and all of that and all of this. But part of me honestly wanted to also go back to school. I wanted to go to school and get my license to be a private investigator, and I actually made the plan to. I found a school and everything. I just had to wait for the school term to restart, for the class to be available, since it was in the middle of the school term and I didn't have the funds right then and right there. I don't even think they would let me enroll in the middle of the term. So I left my job to try to fix up my mental health at the beginning of 2019. I decided maybe in this free time I have, I can look more into this making videos. So I went ahead and I bought a cheap little tripod and a decent but still pretty cheap camera that I could use to record on. Yeah, so I figure, okay, I have my camera, I have my tripod, I'm ready to just go out and create. No, I didn't do the right amount of planning. I looking back in comparison to like right now, I don't remember any kind of serious planning I took. It might be because I didn't really take serious steps, since I wasn't as serious about it as I thought, or it could be a memory issue. I don't know, but no, it wasn't time yet. It wasn't my time yet. I had like ideas. Planning aside, I had ideas. Ideas are great, but ideas, if you can't really turn your ideas into action, then you're just kind of stuck. And that's basically the position that I was in. I was stuck. I had these ideas. I was too scared to really implement them and really do anything, I think a lot of it boils down to I didn't put my all into planning because I was scared, even though I wanted it. That's what it comes down to. I got as far as making one vlog though, with one of my best friends and my brother, but obviously that didn't get posted. I don't even know if I have that footage anymore. I don't know. I'll have to look and see. But yeah, basically, I think fear at that time in my life kept me from going through with it. Like I said, I had just gotten this big adult job and I was doing really well there until my mental health got kind of rocky and I just wasn't doing as well, and it didn't feel right. That scared me. I think I was scared to fail, so I was scared to try. That doesn't get you anywhere though. Okay, so attempt numero dos. I moved to the idea of doing anything in regards to uploading content to the back of my mind by the time it was fall 2019. But by January, I think maybe late December 2019, January of 2020, I got that kind of just urge to want to do something, make something. So I took one of my other favorite forms of creating and mixed it with one of my favorite art forms, and I decided to make a blog about music. Basically, I would make blog posts. I know I made a article for like top 10 Pisces musicians, and I included like lyrics that really had like themes related to Pisces, stuff like that. Top 10 songs to get the party going, stuff like that. I don't really know how many people looked at it or paid attention to it. I wasn't really necessarily doing it for people to pay attention. It was more so me doing something and just sharing it because I wanted to use my blog and the website I had set up as a portfolio to maybe find a job that had to do like with writing articles. I did get made fun of a little for doing it, but it was something I was passionate about, and So for like probably one of the first times in my life, I didn't really care too much that it was being made fun of because, blah, 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 believe in yourself type of stuff. But I had a great time doing it, and I wanted to share it and show it. And actually, a couple people in the they are people in the music industry. I shared photos on my Instagram story for the blog because I made an Instagram account for the blog. I shared them, and I saw a couple names that I recognized that view my story. They viewed it, and not to say like they paid attention or they clicked it, but I mean that made my heart feel good seeing a name I recognized. Even if it was an accident, they viewed my story. That was pretty cool. So I was putting out articles pretty consistently. I was really pretty proud of myself. Until about the towards the later half of February, some unexpected personal circumstances, some situations happened to where I had to put a hiatus on my writing. I couldn't do it. Could not pull it out of me. There were no thoughts or words in my brain. Did not feel like expressing anything. I might share that time in a different video, but basically my mental health wasn't gonna let me do it. And about a month later, I decided to just pull everything. So everything got deleted, and I kept screenshots, but kind of like the footage for my first vlog. I'll have to see if those even exist anymore. Okay, so around March was when I pulled everything in regards to my blog to where it's almost like it didn't even exist. And by summer, the feeling came back again. I felt restless. I wanted to do something, make something. But the issue was we were in the middle of lockdown, quarantine, in case someone forgot. 2020 was crazy. So basically, I just consumed a lot of content instead of making my own. I felt like my life was too boring at that point. Nothing interesting was happening to me. Where was I going? Nowhere. I was going to the porch. I was going to the backyard patio. Woo woo. Okay. So basically, I watched a lot of content, and people of course started talking more about TikTok, and I got like a little like, oh, maybe I would like to try that out. Did I? No. I was ultimately too scared. So that was that for that attempt, I guess. So now we are on to attempt number 3, which was a huge jump. Not huge, but I mean in regards to the story. 2020, summer 2020, I had that idea, dropped it. The idea did not come back until about January of 2023. 2023 was probably the most challenging year of my life at that point. I'll probably talk about it in another video some other time, but it was so challenging and so trying on my physical, my mental, but for whatever reason, I felt hopeful about things, about life, my situation. When it came to my 3rd attempt at this time, I did not mention, I don't think to anybody, that I was wanting to think about. See, I can't even commit. In like thinking back to my mind back then, I can't even commit to the idea of it. I didn't tell anybody that YouTube was even anywhere near my. It wasn't there. It wasn't, okay? So what was though? I've always loved music, and music production has just in 2020 my music time skyrocketed. I listened to a lot of music, and more so fell in love with music production. So I wanted to get in on doing stuff like that. Circumstances kept me from diving in as deeply as I wanted to. So I had to put a little pin in that, and that was basically it for that time. So next up is attempt number 4, December 2024. With this being the attempt that finally worked so far. I mean, the fact that I'm recording this, I never came this. Whoa, no, I made a vlog, but I put more planning into this, so there. This is the attempt that worked, so it's like, surely that means you were, in a better headspace to go for. No, not necessarily. 2023 was rough. 2024 was. There were moments, there were pockets of happiness, but there was a lot of, I don't know, just there was a lot. A lot happened in 2024, but 2024 was also the year that I really took a step back and did a lot of, it's gonna sound cheesy, here we go. I did a lot of reflecting and lots of deeper introspection. I think a lot of that downtime I had kind of helped my mind, for the lack of a better word, mature in a way to where things that maybe scared me didn't seem as scary. I think I stopped doubting myself more for whatever reason. I guess because I took the time to really sit with myself, and this sounds really cheesy. It really does. I got to know myself better and trust myself more, I guess. Sorry, this is really cheesy. So yeah, most of 2024, a lot of falling, getting back up, learning, all of that. We're fast forwarding to December. It is December 2024. My mental was rough. To say the absolute least, it was rough. Look back at the month before it. That might give you an idea as to why. Not even like the usual anxiety, panic attacks, depression that I would usually have. So it was like that. A little spicier. So anyways, as I was saying, yeah, my head, inside of my head, I felt like everything was just very bleak. And then one day, one of my best friends sent me a message to check out a video. The video was Dochi's Tiny Desk, which if you haven't watched it yet, I'm kind of judging you, but it's okay. Watch it. It's really good. It's really good. So much so that I have watched it maybe 8 times now. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. Watching someone do and make any kind of art, the medium, it doesn't matter. Just watching someone do something that they love, it inspired me. We're getting cheesy again. It lit up something in my soul that I guess hadn't been lit up in a while. It was beautiful and it made me feel hopeful, which I hadn't felt strongly in quite a while. After maybe like my 3rd listen and watch of the video, I couldn't take it anymore. Enough of me like wanting to be creative and let it out had built up inside of me to where I took the time to sit down and seriously look at this with a much more driven and directed kind of. I decided to take it serious, like, basically, And I sat and I planned and I thought things through, which is a lot more than what I did for my past attempts. I would like voice it to my other best friend that I have. And she's been so supportive, and I appreciate them both so much. I would run across issues, in my planning for how I wanted to go about doing this. And she was always offering suggestions and just really keeping me motivated to keep going. So I want to thank both of them for motivating me to go ahead and do this, look at this idea again with the new perspective that I've gained, the maturity that I've gained about going for it, and with the amount of trust that I've built within myself over the past few years, but especially within the last year, is basically what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I really think a lot of why this worked out now had to do with timing. Basically, I had to do the growth. I had to become more comfortable with myself. I had to be more comfortable with the idea of putting myself out there and being perceived, which is something that I absolutely hate. I will upload a story to my Instagram and I will delete it like maybe 3 minutes later because I'm like, oh, why did I do that? That feels gross. I don't want anyone to perceive me. It's like, what are you doing? I had to, and I still do that. It's a bad habit, but I think timing had a lot to do with that. I had to get to this place. I had to lose some people along the way who might have not been as supportive. I had to really strengthen the already strong connections I had with the people who have always been there and super supportive. And I think a lot of what's going on in the world now, mixed with that love and support, the darkness, we're getting like real deep with this. I think that darkness that's everywhere that I was feeling, mixed with the light and love of the friends and family that I have in my life, and honestly the love that I've gained for myself, I think a lot of that has helped make this possible now, because I see that darkness and I honestly want to drown it out. I've watched creators that drown it out for me, and if I can do that for somebody, then that means the world. That would be awesome. I think that's a lot of the reason why now is the time to do this, and I feel good about it. I'm feeling hopeful. To basically sum it all up, what lessons are there? The lessons are 3 tips. Easy tips, very easy, but applying them is probably the hardest part. That's the hardest part. Find something, or hopefully something finds you soon. Find something that inspires you. Things can be enjoyable, but not everything you enjoy might inspire you. Find something that just lights up a fire in you. Cheesy, yes, but it's real. Something that gives you hope and makes you feel alive and makes you not want to not just be, but participate, thrive, that kind of thing. Number 2, surround yourself with supportive people only, and not, that's different from yes men. You don't want to surround yourself with yes men, because when you screw up or if you need some criticism, that's always, you should always have that. But the thing is, make sure you surround yourself with people who believe in you and want to see you do well. It really comes down to that, because in moments when you might not believe in yourself, having those people there for you, put it in your ear that, hey, whatever you're thinking, It's not necessarily true at all. You know, you're being hard on yourself. Be more compassionate, be kind to yourself. It's nice to have people around you that remind you to, you know, be a friend to yourself also. Be kind to yourself. Support. That's basically it. Point number 3, equally as cheesy as the previous two, is believe in yourself. That will take you so far, and that honestly might be one of the harder things to do. At least speaking from experience, that was the hardest thing for me. Basically, get to know yourself, learn to like yourself, make that like, not make it, but as you learn about yourself, hopefully that like grows into love, and that love comes with trust. And with trust and love, you'll believe in yourself. It's a lot easier to explain than it is to do, and it takes time, but just go for it. Believe in yourself. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, leave a comment, maybe comment about something that inspires you. What is something that lights up a fire in you and makes you want to go for and achieve your dreams and your goals? Yeah, follow my socials. Those will be in the description. And turn on post notifications so you can know about the next video. I'll see you next time. Take care.